welcome to another episode of Coffee and Bonghits with Jesse. Beat you back here in 30 seconds.
Shut the fuck up, sorry ass motherfucker, stay away from me.
Yes, y'all, and it don't stop. Got that big crowd in the house. Yo, big announcement. Next week we're going to, provided that I don't test positive for the coronavirus between now and then, next week we're gonna open it up for a couple weeks of live episodes with a live studio audience in the building, watching the show, eating snacks, drinking coffee, smoking pot. We're going to have a smile contest like my man, Ramblin' Rod. What's up, Finda? Remember Ramblin' Rod when you were a little kid? Marty, you'd go on Ramblin' Rod and they'd be like, all right, kids, I'm done hitting on all your moms. Time to have the smile contest. And then you would, they play that do 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 do. It'll kind of go, and then they just have these bleachers full of kids all with the same smile, just plaster faced. Man, remember when you were a little kid, you had to go get your school pictures. You had to go get your school pictures taken. Good morning, Erica. You get one shot. That was it. Maybe you could go on retake day, but you had one shot. Like school 8 Mile, school to rap battle, school pictures is some mom's spaghetti on your shirt. And then you still, what, Mario? Give it up for Mario, one of those circus tickets. You know what, Mario? If I remember, you won the smile contest before, didn't you? Come clean. I never won that shit. But on my show, we won't have a smile contest. We'll have the mean mug contest. So as I go through, if you are smiling like a dork in 2020, I'm just going to pause the show and punch you right in your goddamn stomach, man. Ain't nobody got time for that shit in 2020. When that camera hits you, you better not look like a doofus, man. People always ask me that. They're like, Jesse, man, how come you don't never smile? Hey, you son of a bitch, what the hell you got to smile about, man? It's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. These fools out here cheesing like dorks, man. You see me, I'm going to look like Mr. T when they told him he was going to have to take an airplane flight on the A-team. I told you, Murdoch, I don't be flying in no planes. That's how you win. Okay, look, we got a big show today, man. My man Diction is off. Yeah, see, Mario, I knew, man. I knew. Hey, good morning, Central Oregon. Good morning, Kirsten. Hey, we're going to have Luke on today. First, I was going to introduce Diction, but look, first I'll introduce Diction. So in the second half hour, probably like, I don't know, 10:40 or something, Diction's going to come in. And Diction just took a 30-day break from all negativity. So he's like the Christ child this morning. For real. He told me he couldn't even watch my show because it was too negative. I was like, you think my show's negative? That's because you're stupid. Sorry, man. It's like getting caught smiling in the picture. So the whole point was when you were a little kid, you had one shot. One shot. I get your school picture, man. Imagine one gymnasium, one cross-eyed photographer with bottle cap glasses on, with that long-ass camera on a tripod, and you have to go and sit in the gymnasium, and they had a little background, and you'd be up there, and you'd be like, fuck, my whole life depends on this. This is everything to me. And then you go there and you be like, all right, 3, 2, and they take your picture on 2, and you look like, Man, that was your school picture, man. Unless your parents were really vain, they got you retakes, but it's still the first picture is the one that goes in the yearbook, right? Okay. Also, what we're gonna have today, probably in just about 10 minutes, man. I'm gonna have Luke Richter on the show. Luke's my dude from Central Oregon. You might remember Luke fell into our spotlight because he blocked the ice bus that one day. So good morning, Ellen. Good morning, Dixon. So Luke will be in here in a minute. Things are getting crazy in Bend. Things getting crazy in Central Oregon, but especially in Bend. We got fools pulling out guns. We got deplorables driving their motorcycles through crowds of protesters and crashing their motorcycle and then getting back on a motorcycle and then trying to drive through more protesters. We have a police, we don't have anymore. They have the police chief, I think his name's Krantz. Hansel. That Bugs Bunny one where he can't remember how he knows Hansel. He's like, Hansel. Remember? And they're like, yeah. They're just eating all the sweets at the witch's house. So Luke's gonna be on here in a minute to tell us what's going on because the new police chief from the Portland Police Department has moved over to Bend and he's brought all that bullshit with him, and we don't want none of it. But we're gonna get Luke on here just to catch us up. Later on in the week, I'll try to get Kirsten, maybe Josie on. They're pretty amicable about sharing their time. So I'm gonna start having a lot more guests on the show. As you don't know, we're trying to work it out. Like build the show, build the website, build the other show, develop other people's shows, move Fuck 12 News off of Facebook, move it on to the internet. A lot of shit we're trying to get done, but yeah, so we're going to get Luke on. There's a couple things I really want to talk about before we get too far into it today. First of all, let me remind you guys that if you go right now to standupandfightback.bigcartel.com, go there. Get a shirt like this one. Look at my shirt, man. My shirt's edgy today. Snitches get stitches. You can get this shirt 10% off right now. Go to standupandfightback.bigcartel. Y'all know I usually got that edgy gear, but when I left to go to Washington, D.C., I left most of my controversial shit in my suitcase, and I just finally got my suitcase back yesterday. Did a load of laundry. Now I'm back to my edgy shit. So once again, go to standupandfightback.bigcartel.com. Get some shit. Tell them Large Marge sent you. Also, now would be a good time to remind you guys about the movement. Hey, yo, it's Jesse Sponberg. I'm rocking with the movement. You can too. Every Sunday night, 10 p.m. only on KBOO, KBOO 90.7. And I don't know what Wednesdays are good for, really. Wednesday's hump day. They call it hump day because there's nothing better to do. Go freaking hump yourself. But that doesn't mean that magical stuff still can't happen on a Wednesday. So here's your little reminder to climb your mind out of your skull, out of the passenger seat, unbuckle, open the door, get out, close the door, walk around the back of your head, climb into the driver's seat of your avatar, to your Iron Man suit, to your whatever, your giant robot brain, and you're just inside, you're just cranking, shredder, you fool. Remember that dude? Hey, what's up, Kara? So let me just take this opportunity to take my bong hit, but since I am on quarantine, I don't have a bong. So we're going to take a pipe hit, and we're just going to take a really long pipe hit, and we're going to hold it like a bong hit. But remember, kids, this bong hit is brought to you by Anteaters. Hey, kids, do you need a cuddly pest remediation solution that you can also sleep with and be your very best friend? Get an anteater. Anteaters are the perfect solution for all those pesky spiders that come in your house and everybody on Facebook thinks they're black widows. It also works on cockroaches, ants, beetles, and centipedes. And I know you're thinking, but Jesse, what if it's a giant centipede? Say it with me, everybody. Hey, bro, get a giant anteater then. Brought to you by God. All right, let me just bang this out real quick. In a normal situation, this will be a choker ass bong hit. But what I want to know from you guys is, what are you smoking this morning? Tell me, what are you smoking this morning? Because I swear to God, I'm not just acting like I want to know. I really want to know, what are you smoking this morning? I'm smoking some of that Ashanti Kush. I call it Ashanti Kush because Ashanti gave it to me yesterday. Oh, by the way, if anybody's looking to get a cat, I'm still trying to find a forever home for this guy right here. This cat looks like it's already been smoking this morning, man. So this cat. Okay, so look, the cats broke out the house. Both of them, they escaped. It was a move, man. They hustled me. They played me. They made me think they were complacent and they dipped out. One of them has not come back at all. And one of them has only come back long enough to poop and eat and then jumps back out the window. So if you want a civilized cat that enjoys nature but still likes to poop in a box, I got you. Tell me, what are you smoking this morning? I want to know. White Sumo. Oh, shit, we got all kinds of stuff. Okay, let's go real quick. Kara got the blue dragon. Marty got the snow leopard. Kara sees your snow leopard and raises you some diamonds. Marty got the lol. Erica's got the old family purple flower. Ellen's got the white sumo. Marty's smoking tweaker cats. Vince got the 20-pound beef brisket. Oh, I'm on like day 4 today. No meat. If I eat meat today, I eat meat. If it dies, it dies. But I've been feeling pretty good. Finda is smoking a guy named Bruce. And Kara's smoking Blue Dragon. I think we already added that one. Okay, yeah. So that's where we are. Let's go back to where we were, though. Let me take that banner off because we got Luke waiting. You know, what I really wanted to talk about was the mayor of Puerto Rico. I woke up and the mayor of Puerto Rico has endorsed Donald Trump. And at first I was like, hey, Luke, I see you. Before I bring you out, let me make this point real quick. The mayor of Puerto Rico endorsed Donald Trump this morning. Or not the mayor, the president of Puerto Rico endorsed Donald Trump this morning. And I thought to myself, I was like, after all the terrible things that Donald Trump has done to Puerto Rico, how could she endorse the president? That's insane to me. But then I realized that she must not have any faith in Joe Biden winning. She must not have any faith in Joe Biden winning, and so she's hedging her bet because she's going to have to deal with Donald Trump for the next 4, 8 indefinite years. And that's horribly sad to me because if anybody should want to throw a batch of paper towels at the president, it should be the president of Puerto Rico. All right, Luke, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. How are you this morning, buddy?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Yeah. Why are you tired? It's 10:15 in the morning.
Not a lot of sleep. There's always something to do.
Man, I seen some buzz on the World Wide Web that says you might be trying to move the Central Oregon Peacekeepers offline. I mean, off Facebook. What's going on with that, man? You building a website?
Yeah, we got a website now. It's just CentralOregonPeacekeepers.com. But Facebook actually gave us our page back last night. So I have no idea.
Why did they take it away?
They didn't even say. They just said that it was something against their policies, and that they reviewed it and said everything was back. They didn't give any specifics.
Man, a lot of pages have been getting taken off of Facebook lately, man. That's why I feel like I'm in a race against technology to move some of my other stuff off the internet before it disappears completely.
Yeah, definitely get all of it off of it. All of our stuff is archived now. All the video footage is archived. If it happens again, we have a lot of backup plans.
Yeah, I try to tell everybody, move all your stuff, because right now the problem is that people rent an apartment in cyberspace from Zuckerberg or on Twitter or on Instagram or wherever, right? And that can be taken, even YouTube can be taken from you at any time. And I tried to warn people when they did it to Alex Jones like 2 years ago. Everybody was like, yeah, Alex Jones. And I was like, wait a minute, man. What happens when it happens to you? Are you still going to be cheering for it? And no, I don't see a lot of people cheering for their own censorship. Okay, we'll put that good advice for everybody somewhere else. Get your own website, people. Get off the internet, even if it's just your first and last name. You know, you can always create content and then share it to Facebook, but it lives forever. If I write an article now for urbansurvivorman.com, if I write the article right now, I can share it as many times as I want to Facebook, and Zuckerberg can never touch me. All right, I can create a new avatar or whatever and share it again, and create a new one and share it again, and they can never take it away because I own urbansurvivorman.com, and Luke, you own Central Oregon Peacekeepers.com. Okay, why is there a need for Central Oregon Peacekeepers, Luke? I'm gonna smoke pot while you talk, so just talk.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, there's a need because things like last weekend happened where the police don't listen to people. They don't take statements from people that have just been sucker punched in the back of the head or in the side of the head. They don't listen to the people that had guns pointed in their face for trying to park a vehicle that was rolling into a vehicle behind it. The police choked somebody with their own backpack. They spit on somebody. There's why are they needed anymore? So then there's my group who literally we've had to pepper spray people, but that's about as much as we've done.
Hey, did you pepper spray somebody this weekend, Luke? Is that what I put on the internet? Did you let your itchy trigger finger? Did you let it fly?
Unfortunately, I had to. There's video of it. I can't. It's been seen by way too many people because Emily Curitan's a really good journalist and people follow her on Twitter, and she was right there while that was happening. So there is video of that, but you can clearly see what happened leading up to that moment.
Okay, let's back up for anybody who hasn't been following Central Oregon. So Central Oregon, rural Oregon, is not the most diverse place in the world, and it's full of Trump supporting uber white extremists, right? I feel like if I call them white supremacists, then they're going to be like, we're not white supremacists, right? But they're definitely white extremists. They're definitely extremists. They're definitely uber nationalists, and they definitely show up with racist people, drive in with racist people, and dress just like racist people. But I'm not going to let them distract from the point I'm trying to make. So we're going to call them white extremists. Okay. And they'll go, well, not all of us are white. Well, okay, whatever. We're not going to get sidetracked. So you guys have been trying to hold rallies in support of specifically Black lives.
Yep.
And these white extremists have been harassing you in whatever city you show up in, whether it's Prineville, whether it's Redmond, whether it's Bend. You guys ever get up to Madras?
They Madras does hold rallies, but that's kind of far for a lot of people, so we haven't been out there yet. But we're planning on being in there and in La Pine eventually.
Man, if you protested in Madras, you could get that crushed ice that they got at the Sonic right there. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good. Okay, so these dudes show up. They show up. They got guns. They got flags. They got trucks. They got red hats. They got – what else do they bring, Luke?
Some dude had a dirt bike that he brought in the back of a pickup truck that he was burning out, like in the actual truck bed. They just like to drink a lot in public. They don't care who sees them drinking in public.
What do they drink? What are they mostly drinking?
Coors, Bud Light, stuff like that.
I bet there's a freaking shit ton of Bud Light being consumed, man. Okay, so on Saturday, you guys had a fucking picnic block party. It wasn't even a rally. It wasn't a protest. It was literally just community coming together. And that still was too offensive, right? They still had to come up and harass that, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we announced it at like 5 o'clock that morning where we were going to be. And they announced it like 5 hours later that they were going to be at the same spot for some reason. And I mean, you can watch footage that we have of that day. There's literally a cake and like kids were there. People were playing.
The cake, right?
Yeah, there was literally just cake. It was literally like a cake pizza, just listening to music. Everybody just hanging out.
What do the bad guys want from you, Luke? Like take yourself, because you know any wise leader has to be able to separate himself from his ego, right? So yeah. Take your mind out of your head and put it inside the thick, numbskull of a deplorable. What do they want, Luke? Do they want you dead? Do they want you to move? Do they want you to shut up? What do they want?
I know some of them want me arrested right now. I know they would probably just prefer that I just shut up and go back to how I used to be, which was just go to work and come back home and not say anything.
They're definitely racist, though, right?
There's a lot of things that make you wonder. I'm not going to say that all of them are inherently racist, but they all do little inherently racist things because of their environment and the lack of just being around people that look like me their entire life.
But some of them are blatantly racist, right?
Oh, yeah. There's some that definitely call us just the N-word. I got told to go back and pick cotton like 2 weeks ago. Stuff like that.
Okay. So then Bend gets a new police chief. What's his name?
Krantz.
Okay, I was right. Who came from Portland. And we all know the problems we have in Portland, Oregon. He was specifically asked to denounce white supremacy, right?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said that he was going to leave the statements up to the elected officials. And then after he was challenged, he just kept backtracking to the point where he said, I think the last one was he's anti-white supremacy. So it's basically there, but he just refuses to take an order from anybody other than himself.
Okay, so the tactics are changing, though, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I got a couple more minutes with you, Luke. Tell me about the change in tactics.
Yeah, I mean, just from an activist standpoint, you have to think about what's going to be the long game, especially what's going to make the changes. So the election cycle is about to end. We're hoping for basically a just complete flip and just a complete blue win on our side as far as the city level. And that'll ensure that we can have conversations with city officials that we know will be actually listened to, because there are people that are standing right next to us at these rallies to begin with. Almost every single candidate that's running for city council that I have publicly endorsed has stood next to me at one of these rallies in some fashion.
Hey,
So
name
the
drop
fact
them.
that they're
Name
like,
drop them.
we got Melanie Keebler, Anthony Broadman, Rita Schenkelberg, Phil Chang.
Isn't Rita Schenkelberg having a press conference today?
That was on Monday. I'm not.
Oh.
She may be doing something else today, but I'm not sure. I know she did one on Monday, but all those people. Anthony Broadman was there the entire time, and I actually said bye to him after everything happened, and he was getting his kids out, or it may have been right before everything happened. So all of these politicians are the ones that are actually showing up next to us. So there's just, you want to vote for people like that. Those are the people you want to stand by because they're standing with you in the streets.
I feel you. I'm gonna let you get out of here, Luke. Can I get you back on soon?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hit me up whenever. We're going to start traveling a little bit more and try to head over to the Valley soon.
Okay, and so where can people find your group on Facebook?
Just Central Oregon Peacekeepers. Same thing with Twitter and Instagram, TikTok, and all that fun stuff.
Okay, and then the .com will be done pretty soon?
It's already up. Everybody can check that out. It's basically all of our Facebook stuff is on the website.
Blam. That's how you do it. All right, Luke. Thank you so much for your time. We're going to let you get out of here. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Heck yeah, bro. Okay, we're going to, man, we'll get you on, Kirsten. How about Friday? Just because I don't know what day it is today, but I know it's not Friday. Okay. We're going to have Diction on in about 15 minutes. So let's take advantage of this opportunity to get into some news because there is definitely news. So let's go to my news, not your news, because your news is what? Whack. I hate to tell you that, but not a big fan of most of the regular news. So we're going to go to my news, not your news. And when I pull this off, voila! Spelled with a V. Okay. Boom. I know y'all seen this. I know you guys seen this. Your $1,200 dresser money is on hold. Man, at this point, look, at this point, $1,200 won't catch you up with any of the stuff that you're like screwed on, right? But what $1,200 will do is it'll give everybody one last chance not to spend it on booze, not to spend it on drugs and partying, but to go and buy yourself some goddamn Luna bars and some water and some clean shit for your family. When half the country's dead, the other half of the country's in jail, and the other half of the country is like, we can't do math very well. I'm telling you, coronavirus stimulus. President calls off talks with Democrats, tells GOP to focus on the Supreme Court. Once again, I'm just going to take this opportunity to remind you guys that the president, being the dumbest person that ever has been the president, is nominating a woman who would ban the stem cell research and the application of stem cell technology that literally saved his life. Oh my God. That's like, I can't even think of an example off the top of my head of how somebody could be that freaking stupid. Oh yeah, I gotta switch my little banner. Thank you, Marty. Gotta shoot. Boom. All right, now we're back with firster, liver, localer, with Wolf Blitzer. All right, let's keep it moving. Whoa, wait a minute. Then he reverses it again, and now he says maybe he'll give you that $1,200. See, I think what really happened is I think people jump to conclusions because I think that what happened was the president was asked about the $1,200, and since he had just come out of the hospital, I think that he actually thought that somebody was asking him for $1,200, and he was like, I ain't got it. Y'all just see my taxes. I ain't got it. And they thought that's what They thought that it was what was going to mess up their money. Okay, man. Y'all know about Mike Pence, man. Mike Pence is like, I will not debate with a sneeze guard. I won't let you put a plexiglass shield in front of me. If I cannot infect my opponent, remember, Mike, if you can't affect them, infect them. All right, let's keep it moving. Fox News' top story says, New Jersey federal judge rejects Trump's campaign's challenge to states' mail-in voting plans. We're so toast. I don't know how many days are left, but we are so toast. Trump's return from Walter Reed leaves the White House in disarray. I don't know if you guys have seen any of those videos from the White House, but it looks like Lloyd Center in there. I don't know what else to tell you. It looks like Lloyd Center. Trump statistically tied with Biden in Arizona district that the president won by 11 points in 2016. Did I say that right? Don't care. Biden not surprised that Trump caught the coronavirus. That's funny. Hey, how about this, man? 2 ISIS militants charged in the deaths of James Foley and other American hostages in Syria. So here's the thing about that, man. They really hyped that up from late last night, right? There was going to be a virtual press conference from the Department of Justice. Right? And everybody's like, ooh, are they going to invoke the 25th Amendment? Ooh, are they going to take the president's powers away? Ooh, is the president dead? Ooh, are they going to release news about Hillary? Ooh, there's nothing. It was just some ISIS shit. ISIS is the fakest shit ever. Oh my God. The only thing faker than ISIS is Al-Qaeda. So bringing up ISIS at this point, this close to the election, is literally just playing into talking points, is playing into Fox narratives, right? Now Fox gets to talk about ISIS for the next 3 weeks, right? Joe Biden loves ISIS. I don't know why nobody laughed right there, but bringing ISIS up right now is just so textbook. Yo, and here's a good one. Stephen Miller, who proved that the coronavirus can jump species when it went directly into the body of a fucking rat. Stephen Miller's wife had the virus, and she mocks Kamala Harris over wanting plexiglass at the debate. These people are so gross. Okay, now that we've gone through that, let's get into more like Jesse style news, right? Because that's what we like. Remember this. My news, not your news, because my news is better. All right, here we go. White people slammed for opening ancient Egyptian mummy tomb. Yeah, white people do that shit, man. White people definitely do a lot of that shit. Okay, let's keep it pushing. T-Rex fossil sells for $32 million, becoming the most expensive dinosaur ever auctioned. The new T-Rex skeleton tops Sue at Chicago's Field Museum in auction. Real quick, I just want to remind you guys that I actually went and saw Sue last month. I don't know what day it is even. How am I supposed to know what month it is? What month is it? Oh, it's October. It's almost my birthday. Oh, y'all ain't ready for Scorpio season. Look out, Earth. $32 million. I'm going to buy me a fucking T-Rex. I'm going to take it out the package too. Okay, subpoena for Trump tax returns are heading back to the Supreme Court after the president's dealt another setback. Okay, so look, here's the point. Here's the point that I want to make about the president of Puerto Rico, and I want to make it about society in general, is that whenever there's a bully like the president, nobody fucking likes that dude. Nobody wants to be on his team. Literally, people are only on the bullies team so they don't get bullied. I mean, when you look at people like Ted Cruz, Mitt Romney, any friend of John McCain, when you look at any of these people, they've all been mocked. They've all been bullied. They've all been belittled by the president, right? Dude, he told Ted Cruz's wife she was ugly. He said Ted Cruz's dad killed JFK. He said Mitt Romney would get on his knees for him. I think you got a great message right there, Larry. I think you got a great message that deserves to be put up there. So then when you're like, well, the president of Puerto Rico should definitely at least give the 2-gun salute to the president, right? And what, stand alone? Are y'all going to go give electricity to Puerto Rico? Are you guys going to sign disaster relief for Puerto Rico? You can't. You would if you could, but you can't. And none of us stand up alone. Nobody stands up alone. And the person that does stand up alone either gets killed, ostracized, has their character assassinated. I mean, think. I don't mean just like think in general. I mean, think about what I'm talking about in your own life. How many historical examples of that you personally hold as anecdotes? It isn't until the bully gets punched in his goddamn mouth and lays there with his fucking jaw broke and blood trickling out of his fucking corner of his mouth as he's reconciling everything he's ever done with his moment of extreme mortality. And the rest of you guys are all standing around thinking to yourselves, is this our chance? Are we free? Because remember, even in Oz, everybody lived under the subordination of the evil, the wicked witch, right? And then when she was dead, what happened? The whole town busted out in song, right? Everybody, ding dong, the witch is dead. Fuck that witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Everybody, even the Flying Monkeys was like, I hated her. I always hated her. But until somebody punches that bully in the face. I mean, we just saw an example of that this last week when it was announced that the president had the coronavirus. Suddenly, all the people who had been living under the thumb of that man finally found an opportunity to rejoice and to pile on. And what was the response from the bullies? Compassion. Where's the humanity? Please, where's the tolerance? Here's my favorite. What about the tolerant left? So much for the tolerant left. All right, let me explain this to you freaking idiots real quick, man. When we speak of tolerance, it's selective tolerance. But it's empathetic tolerance. It's tolerance for marginalized people. It's tolerance for people who've been ostracized and outcasted. It's for people who want to just live a humble life without being persecuted or prosecuted. It's compassion for people that don't get compassion. It's tolerance for people that deserve tolerance. And until stupidity is marginalized in this country, then it doesn't deserve any tolerance. Like if it was rare, if stupidity was rare, and you were like, if stupidity was rare and it was just a couple dummies running around the country, I would probably have compassion for them and I would probably be tolerant of them. I would be like, oh, that's just a town idiot, man. Just have some compassion for him. But not when stupidity and idiocracy and morality is a fueling component of a movement. I'm not going to have compassion for a discompassionate movement. I'm not going to have tolerance for intolerance. So there's an understanding. Yo, Dixon, you shave up on me, man?
Yeah, man, I shaved up.
Bro, I'm going to have to card you just to be on the show.
That's funny. That's what my girl was saying, that I look like 10 years younger. I'm
Hey,
gonna
I'll
start
give it a
shaving up a lot
prediction.
more now that I'm losing a lot of weight. You know, my face ain't so
Yeah.
puffy now that I don't be eating food like that.
Man, you change up your diet?
I just intensified it more. Actually,
Remember that one time you told me you were just going to go on an all potato diet?
yeah, I still
Did you
I
ever
ain't
do
gonna
that?
do that now, but it is gonna be. I'm gonna take some lessons I learned from that study, like into the transition off of this diet, which will happen in like a year or 6 months probably.
Okay,
But
so
I
what are you on
figured
these
out
days,
like
man?
what's up
What are you on these days?
as far as just in general, or are we still talking on dietary shit?
Oh, I figured you probably want to talk about a lot more stuff than your diet, but if you got a diet plan, we'd love to hear it.
Well, I'm on the keto, but I kind of do an altered version, but it kind of ties into some mental hacks. So obviously I come on a lot and I'll talk about your thoughts creating reality, metaphysics, that sort of thing. So I've been studying finance a lot this month. And so there's some of those cats who are just really successful at their business in general, who recommended a sleep chronotype. So I flipped my sleep around on that, which is just like there's a certain way that everybody's body, they came out with like 5 types into how you sleep and when to be most productive. And then one of the other things that I intensified my diet with more is, and it saved me hella money too, because I don't budget my money all crazy, but is if you eat anything, period, you're not gonna get the best of your brain at that point, because digestion will take too much out of your brain. And I've been doing a dopamine detox as well around that kind of stuff, like just mental hack, you know, how to get your thoughts in the right spot. And so I was already on that. Once you get on into ketogenesis, you really don't eat a lot in the first place. You're not that hungry. But I went to strict 24-hour intermittent fasting because when I recalculated my sleep chronotype, because I wanted to get the biggest chunk out of my day, and I worked about 4 regular jobs to have 3 or 4 laser focused hours on my business. You want to get the most out of your mind during that period. This one cat was breaking down and he's like, hey man, stop eating and shit. Like, you know, when you do that shit, you get brain fog and all this. He's like, eat after you've done everything you need to do. And so I was real obsessed with it. I would come on here talking a lot about everything I was reading and studying, and all that was great. I learned a lot from it, but now I also put that at the end of my day. I don't worry about all that in the front of my day anymore. I've really been trying to like refine the daily routine. I think it helps a lot with when we talk about the thoughts and how you control them, metaphysics, because that also wears on your mind and it takes a lot out of you. So if you want laser focus on whatever your goal is and whatever you're trying to do, I've already seen just from changing it for a few weeks to really change the results is like, don't fucking eat shit until you've done, you know, what you want, your peak mental state, you know, whatever you want to focus that on, which should be whatever your goal is or whatever. Eat after that. You know what I mean? And if you're going to study, do that more towards like maybe the night or some point after you've done that, because then you get a couple hours of real laser focus, no distracted. And if you detox your dopamine, that's what I've been playing with too. Like you just get way laser focused. You're not distracted. You'll get the best possible work out of yourself, and you being your best investment. You know, if you're going to focus on whatever it is that you're trying to bring forth, you want the best part of your mind, the optimum peak of your brain, which you're going to get maybe 3 or 4 hours out of if you're out there like working a regular job like most folks, or multiple like myself. I found that works, but it also saves you a shit ton of money. I got my grocery budget down to about $28 a week. And you'll lose hella fucking weight and have a lot more energy and shit too. It's crazy.
How do we determine our what you said there was five styles,
chronotypes.
Yeah, sleep chronotypes. How do we figure that out?
So there's a YouTube video you can literally just go, and basically these doctors in the study came up with, and it'll break down 5 different questions. You tally up your answers. It's real fast. I found a real efficient one. I don't know the name of the exact link. And then they break it down into animals, which is kind of fun. I was technically a wolf, but I had a lot of dolphin tendencies. So I guess I'm like a wolfin. I don't know. But they break it down into lion, wolf, dolphin, and bear. And most people are bears. But once you like hack that, I've seen a lot because I really had to rearrange my day. I got this job doing copywriting on top of my 8-hour job. And when I started studying more, I realized like, man, I love studying all the things I study, but my actual goal, doing hard work on that and laser focus on it, is what's going to get me where I want to go, and where it's going to get most people where they want to go. And the average person, who has a regular job right now and hasn't, gotten that freedom yet, and I'd be one of them, especially if you got multiple hustles to fund that, you're only going to get maybe 3 hours. If you're lucky, maybe 4. But I cut my sleep to 6 hours, and by not eating, I don't get as tired. And doing a 30-minute workout, meditation, stuff like that, then you're really like, wow, I've doubled what I could get done. It is crazy, just like taking some of this advice. So you can kind of rehack it around that, because then you can look at your block and take that extra time. A lot of it's stuff like dopamine detox, like part of why y'all ain't see me on here and all that. I went on this 30-day challenge to.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about. We got 3 more minutes. Tell us about that.
Okay, so I read this amazing book by Mitch Horowitz called The Miracle of a Definite Chief Aim, and I highly recommend. I've talked about Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill a lot. He has a 3-book series that really take concepts from that book and expound upon them in great ways. And he's a great metaphysical writer, and he's really up to date. He also writes a lot. But anyway, not to get too much on that tangent. So to bring up the challenge, it's in there. And basically, there was a scientist in the 60s who was kind of into the new thought kind of stuff that I would come on here and talk about. But he hadn't revisited it in a while, and he was living in this town that he hated, that he grew up in or whatever, and had to go back to. He was miserable. He had no money. He had these crazy headaches all the time. So he decided he'd come up with an experiment. And he decided that, okay, he would only focus on, as much as humanly possible, which was nourishing or advancing, or, mostly positive, for like a month straight, and after 7 days, he had no more headaches. And then he goes on to say after the 30 days later, he saw big changes in the first week, that he never had a headache again for like 30 years after this. By the end of the month, his scientific work got picked up by this big scientific council that paid him stupid guap, like, I don't know, millions, some bullshit like that. And then everyone was nicer to him. He stopped being depressed. He got out of the town. Like, everything just turned around for this guy in 30 days. I did that to the best of my ability. It could definitely be challenging. It might be a little easier, honestly, in the pandemic, because you already have a lot of walls put up. So if you strip down whatever little digital and social interaction you have, or really just turn off the fucking news or any of that shit for 30 days, it's probably easier to do right now.
Man, how about just the television?
What's up?
Isn't just turning off your television half the battle?
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I've done that for a long period of time. So for me, it was more like, okay, honestly, one of the biggest things, and I've stuck with some stuff since that, from what I gained from it. I deleted the Facebook app. Like, my account is still live, because I have to use it for music and certain things. And there's certain people that I know that are around the world in different spots where the chat's good, but I left the chat on, because mostly anybody I interact with in that chat on a regular, it's going to be a real positive. It's not going to be an issue there. But just getting rid of that scroll, that also played into that dopamine detox and getting into that. I'm actually on my last pack of smokes. So that's the last big dopamine thing that I do. I don't drink anymore. I mean, when you don't barely eat, you get used to a really diet, but like you don't get those big hits of dopamine, and then it stops controlling you. And I realized it gives you more ways to focus your thought. But just getting rid of that scroll and just all that, it's like, boom. Then what's left to focus on? You're focused only, and especially when you're trying to focus on it for 30 days, like only nourishing and advancing stuff. I learned a wealth of shit about personal finance I wish I'd have known when I was 20, or me and you would already be having this conversation on a fucking skyscraper we own or some shit like that. And
better late than never.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I'd already been losing a gang of weight. I'm almost down 100 pounds since January, but that escalated. That in turn saved me more money. I already was studying hella, but man, it increased even more because I haven't fucking watched TV on any consistent basis for more than a decade at this point. And I will say that shit is cancerous. But like if I go in, I'm staying with my folks currently, and if I go into their pad, like they're always got on MSNBC or some shit like that. So I just had to be real quick, like say hi to them, and the dog's like, all right, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here because this shit's on, and I'm not gonna absorb that. It really did help, though. I would say I think that my learning increased tenfold. I hacked a lot of stuff about my budget and diet. I moved forward on some stuff towards my goals a lot quicker. So I would highly recommend anyone trying that 30-day challenge, finding out what it could do for them. I saw a lot of benefits from it right off the bat, and I've developed some habits I'm gonna keep after the fact because it really changed your overall mood. It made it so much easier to keep your thoughts forward focused and bring things into your life because you just didn't have all that negative subconscious programming being thrown at you. I mean, even if you're already limited in it, when you extremely limit it for that period, at least for me, what I saw was like, wow, okay, I didn't get millions of dollars to move out of some town I hated it at it, but you know, it definitely I feel like it propels you forward a lot, and even if just for like a mental cleanse, just to put you on like a better emotional wavelength, I was like, damn, okay, that thing was really beneficial, you know.
All right, look, hey, sit with me because we only got like 5 more minutes of the show. I'm gonna scroll through
Sure.
the Twitter real quick. It's now been 80 days, 11 weeks since Trump said we're signing a health care plan within 2 weeks. Man, we gotta get out of here. You're moving out of the country, aren't you, Diction?
Yeah, as soon as this Rona's done, I already got my passport. I got 4 jobs, and I'm just stacking. I'm rolling out this album that I'm dropping in May. The one I did with Smoke that's got some really great guest features or whatever. And that's that and getting to the Philippines. It's my goal. I'm sending my girl money, and she's already been making money selling flan. She makes them. She's going to start a food cart. We're looking at some really dope apartments in Angeles City. I'm gonna be able to go over there and set up, you know, a studio and keep doing music or whatever. But we'll be able to have a lot more freedom, money wise. It'll free us up to really stack, so we can come back here, buy some real estate, and then like you know, go do philanthropy and all that kind of good shit that you want to do when you finally get in a position to do it in a meaningful way.
Man, that's dope. This world is so crazy, man. Hey, what's the difference, G? Tell me right now. I'm gonna stop even fucking with Twitter. Tell me right now, what's the difference between the people that are figuring shit out right now in 2020 and able to still be moving ahead, and the people that are lost, man? Where do you see? What do you see separating those who can versus those who can't?
Honestly, one of the biggest things I've seen, and you know, I had, you know, as a I don't take the subscription, although if people go to those self-help meetings and that's how they get off drugs, good for you. Awesome. I agree with and probably implemented about 90% of their practices on my own and got over that. But the reason I bring that up is I just don't believe in saying I'm going to be an addict for the rest of my life. Like, yeah, be aware you have a propensity to it. But if you say you're going to be something forever, I feel like then you will be. So I ain't going to say that shit. But okay, when you've done something like when I was, you know, such a severe cocaine addict, like we're talking 2 8-balls a day for months, where you're just going literally clinically insane, the amount of dopamine shooting in. Now, here's the problem. Cigarettes, hella dopamine. Your phone, it's literally designed, video games, literally designed to just flood your brain with fucking dopamine. So you're not even controlling most of your life. And I think that to answer your question, one of the biggest reasons that people who are quote unquote lost and all that kind of stuff is because what I've been learning most of this process is that 95% of our reality is controlled by the subconscious mind, not the 5% of it that's the conscious. And that's how we tend to be programmed to view the world. Like everything that's conscious is what's really going on. Man, that's just 5% of your defense. So it comes down to habits ultimately, because we're pretty much on autopilot, even if you're aware of it, 95% of the time. That's creating 95% of your reality. Learning that really shifted for me. And then just learn. So that means learning to reshape your habits. When you can hack that 95% as much as humanly possible, and that's only going to happen through habit and intense feeling. Those are the two things the subconscious mind understands. Then you see dramatic changes. I mean, the last year of my life, I wouldn't even recognize myself where I'm at. And a big thing came from getting off the worst dopamine thing I had that drove me crazy, which was those drugs. I mean, I'm 2 years clean, but then you get off alcohol, any of those things. And if you look at what the mass society is really pumped with, what is it? A bunch of fear on the news, because that'll get right into your subconscious. And dopamine. People who watch a gang of TV, that shit is flooding your fucking brain with dopamine, and we're constantly being flooded with this shit. And so you're running around on caveman autopilot, very easy to manipulate with no conscious control of your reality. And even when you're aware of that and you really start to go at it, I feel like, at least from what I've seen doing it intensely now for a good while, you'll see dramatic changes. And I really believe if you read just about anything from a religious text to whatever, it'll boil down to, we've talked about thoughts, and that's the biggest thing, is that, the subconscious is 95% of what's going on. It's still going to be a challenge, right? It's still going to be a challenge. I mean, it'll be a more positive one and you'll have more say in the equation. But I've got to a point where it's like, it's hard to judge anybody who's on some bullshit or whatever, right? Because 95% of what they're doing is just bullshit that's been programmed into them and started a vicious cycle. They're pretty much like a zombie. You know what I mean? And it's not to say I'm better than anybody else. I think that you don't want to get into being more self-righteous when you discover and start implementing these things and you see vast improvement on yourself. It's more to understand and have empathy that, like, hey, dude, that guy at the grocery store yelling at somebody about some dumb shit who was being a fucking asshole. I mean, he's basically just an unconscious fucking caveman, and you could boil that down to everything else because they don't understand that 95%, and that's psychology. You could say, fuck Neville Goddard and all the other shit. I wouldn't. I think it's all great shit, but you could even take all that away. Psychologists will tell you that, like, 95% of your reality is subconscious, and that's controlled by really powerful dopamine chemicals. And from the second you wake up to everywhere you go now, we are bombarded with shit that's meant to program your subconscious by people who want to fucking steer you how they want to steer you in mass and flood your brain with dopamine, which is so hard to break any kind of patterns with dopamine. And because it's so fucking powerful. And if you change those two things, you have way more conscious awareness and control over your reality, your thoughts, your actions. Anybody lost just isn't aware of that. And I mean, how could you blame them, man? It's not an easy thing, and not everybody's aware of that,
Okay, man, I'm gonna let you go. The show's over.
All right, bet. Well, thank you for having me on. And,
all right, we'll get you back on soon.
All right, sounds good. That's what's up. And peace and one love to everybody out in Coffee+Bonghits land. It's always a pleasure to be on here. Thank you, Jesse.
Now, they love you. Fuck yeah, man. I'll see you.
Hell yeah, bro. Have a good one, brother.
Yep. Blam. I love having Diction on. It was funny. He went on that 30-day no negativity cleanse, and I rock with a lot of negativity. It's one of the sacrifices that I make, so I can't apologize for it. Yo, yeah, big ups. Yo, thanks, Diction. Thanks, Luke Richter from Central Oregon Peacekeepers. Thanks to everybody that messes with us. We got some big shit going on. Okay, we got some big shit going on. I better take advantage of this sunshine before it starts raining around here. Okay, it's been great. It's been fun. It's been a riot. Gonna have to declare it as one.
Subject to arrest and use of force, including crowd control munitions, if you enter the property. If you're a peaceful protester, we are asking you to leave. This is the Portland Police Bureau. We have heard your chants stating the crowd is wanting to enter the property and burn down Southeast Precinct. You are subject to arrest and use of force, including crowd control munitions, if you enter the property. We are also aware of your request to call for additional reinforcements.
Audi 5000, G.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight.